morning. I'm Carlton Sharp, pastor of Faith Christian Center Church, right here in Beaumont, Texas. And we're here on what's happening in our neighborhood. And today my special guest is Miss Virginia Jordan. Welcome, Virginia.
Thank you so much. I'm very happy to be here.
Wonderful. Well, hey, Virginia, tell us a little bit about yourself.
I'm a resident of Beaumont for 27 years, was not born and raised, born in Colorado and raised in Colorado. Got here as fast as I could, though.
I know you love Colorado.
As I could.
You had get to Beaumont.
Yes, had to. Retired from the Total Petrochemical Refinery after 30 years. I was a supervisor and managed the maintenance for 27 process units.
Wow.
Project manager on several occasions. So, master's in political science. The education that I've got has really been helpful, not quite as helpful as the supervisory experience at the refinery, however. It's amazing what skills have applied across the board, helping manage the city.
Wow. So, Virginia, you're currently the City Council Ward 1 person.
I am.
And you're running again for that same position.
Yes, sir.
So tell us why right now is it so critical for Beaumont that you are on the City Council?
I think it's critical for Beaumont. I think every election is critical for Beaumont.
Is.
You need to be very, very confident that your leaders are taking you in the right direction. They have an awful lot of power over the budget, where the budget is spent, et cetera, et cetera. So you need to have good people in there. As far as my application to that particular position, I've really enjoyed doing what I have done so far, and essentially you are moving all these balls up the hill at the same time, trying not to lose any of them, because you can't concentrate on just one area and let the others fall beside you. It's a nice balancing act to keep all of the different areas of the city going at the same speed, same whatever, with streets and drainage, libraries, parks and recreation, all those different things come together to make this city a very wonderful place to live. And so we need the same type of attention to all those areas. And I feel like I have accomplished a great deal in the first 2 years. I've been told that I accomplished more in 2 years than many people had done in 25.
Wow.
And I am very, very flattered by that remark, and I take it to heart.
So since you've only been on the council for 2 years, how has it been?
How has it been? How has it been? It has been joyful. And the reason why is because, me in particular, it has taken me outside of my comfort zone, because it is my solemn duty to make sure that every single person in that ward is equally represented. Not the white folks on Dowling, not the this, that, what. Everybody who needs help is going to get my help. And so I have been to many churches, I have been to organizations, and I would never have done those things had it not been for the job that I've had as a councilman. And it has been fabulous. Hard work, hard discussions, hard decisions, but that's what we're there for, to do the very, very best we can given the information that we've got.
Yeah, because you're making a decision that impacts this city, and I believe the budget was $265 million this year.
Yes, it is.
And so, I mean, those decisions really impact every community in our city.
Absolutely. I come from a background of working with a $35 million annual maintenance budget and making decisions in that regard also, so the 250 is just extrapolating out. but it's a whole different ball game, because rather than a multinational corporation or something, it's those taxpayer dollars that you're responsible for. So I've taken your money, and you better be darn sure that I'm spending it right. Not that much. Could be worse. Could be worse.
I know, but hey, look, I'm happy to pay it because we get the services.
Right, and we intend to make sure that you just continue to get the services.
So Virginia, what do you see as some of the biggest challenges that we face right now as a city?
If you listen to the buzz, it is infrastructure, and I've heard that word so much that
I've heard it too, Virginia.
But what it means is that we have been somewhat neglectful in past years on streets, drainage, and our sewer issues. We have not allocated maybe quite as much money as needed to be allocated. Therefore, we're playing a little bit of catch-up. But in the last couple of years, every single year, we've spent approximately $15 million streets, $15 million on our underground pipe pipes, that sort of thing. And to do any more than that, we might have to add people or go for a bond election. That money is being spent in that direction. It is as intended, and we're making progress. Not quite fast enough for some people, but we have 800 miles of roads. We have nearly 800 miles of pipes underneath our ground, and if you think that all of that's going to get fixed because somebody stands there and says so, you're wrong.
Yes.
We have so many people, we have so much money, and we work as quickly as we can, we do it as efficiently as we can, and we're spending the taxpayers' money just as carefully as we possibly can.
So how can you better serve the citizens of Ward 1 and in city as a whole, in the city as a whole?
I'd like to think that I'm doing a good job, but there's always room for improvement.
Right.
And being accessible, which I feel like I'm extremely accessible, increase that, make it myself even more available, and ears wide open. Ears wide open. What do you need? And then it would be incumbent upon me to tell whoever at the city that this is what this community needs, this is what this block needs, neighborhood or whatever, and then see that whatever can happen does happen. The other part of that would be reporting back to my constituents and saying this is what is going to happen, or it's not going to happen because. Everybody needs to understand where we are and why we're there.
Now each citizen of Beaumont gets 4 votes for city council. You know,
mayor, 2 at-large candidates, and a ward candidate.
That's right. So those who are watching, because there's been a little confusion going on about how many votes do you really have for city council, but it's actually 4.
It is.
So mayor, your ward council person, and then 2 at-large positions.
Yes.
So I always want to stress that that's what happens. So whatever ward you're in, you're still able to vote for the mayor and other 2 at-large positions.
And you don't need to struggle over, oh my God, I don't know what ward I'm in, or something like that. Based on your voter registration information, that person will appear on your ballot. You don't have to find that person,
because that's a good point to make, because some people are like, well, they had the redrawing of the map, and so now I don't know which ward I'm in, but once you go into the ballot box, you'll know which ward you're in.
It'll pop. If you see me, it's Ward 1. If you see somebody else, you're not in Ward 1. And that's important because now you can vote anywhere, so it's not as if you're going to just vote in these locations if you're Ward 1 and these locations if you're whatever. You can vote anywhere, but the electronic system knows who you are and where you are.
Yeah, and early voting begins on April 22nd.
22nd,
and ends on April 30th, and then election day is Saturday, May the 4th.
Right.
So, I mean, again, there are different areas you could vote at, so anywhere in the city, but early voting, April 22nd to April 30th, and election day is May the 4th on Saturday.
And that early voting, starting on April 22nd through the 30th, is short of Sunday. There will be no voting on Sunday.
Right. That's
got
good.
Other things, we need to be in church on Sunday.
Yeah, exactly. You need to be in church.
We'll take it up afterwards.
So Virginia, what are you going to do to promote the growth and development of our city?
What I'm personally concentrating on, and I consider it a big deal, is that first and foremost, we've got to do something different. We have been at the same population growth, which is nothing, for 60 years. 60 years, and that tells a thinking person that we need to do something else.
Yeah.
So
that's good.
In my mind, what we have neglected is the aesthetic development of Beaumont. We have good jobs, we've got industry, we've got a fabulous university, we have all of this potential, and yet we keep saying, well, the young people don't want to live here, and old people aren't staying, and nobody's proud of their community, and you get this look on people's faces if you're a newcomer to Beaumont.
Yeah.
What brought you to Beaumont? And that's a reflection of our city's heart. If we are downtrodden and apologetic, we need a kick in the pants, and that kick in the pants may be downtown development, which we have yet to do, but we leave our city all the time to go to other places that have beautiful downtown, historic downtowns, that don't have the history that we've got. and riverfront. All we need to do is think about what's going on currently in Port Neches, where they bought back a little from industry, a little chunk of the river, with that glorious establishment that's there that many of us would travel the 30 miles every single day to and from and enjoy. That's a lesson to someone. You would think that, gosh, why aren't we doing that here? We've got the same river, just a little further up. And that's what I think is lacking, and that's what I want to work just as hard as I possibly can on. I floated an idea when I first got into the city council, trying to attract Lamar University into moving into our downtown and perhaps taking one of our old buildings. Let's hypothetically say maybe the Hotel Beaumont as an upperclassman's dorm. And in my mind, you could see then coffee shop, a mobile phone shop, and then sub shop, and then brewery, microbrewery. And suddenly we've got activity, and we've got something to talk about.
I like that idea.
And we have a reason to come off of the interstate to get into downtown, to soak up its wonderful, wonderful heritage, and sit by the river and watch the ships go by. And, why not us? Why not us? So yes, we have challenges. We have challenges because we are an old city. My sister lives in Colorado, and I think it grew up in the last 15 years. All the houses are brand new. Everything looks exactly alike. The roads are fine. That's not us. We began in 1838, and our intrinsically difficult problems of infrastructure, our roads and our sewers, come with that age, unfortunately, affecting older neighborhoods first, many along the Pine Street, and then the south end, Ward 4. But I live in the Oaks Historic District. We're as old as it gets. So we have those issues and those challenges, but we are working tirelessly to overcome them. Another thing that I see as a problem that I would like to work on and intend to is what's called hypervacancy issues. When we choose to develop towards the west, we empty out the east, and we have lot after lot after lot after lot that we do clear at the city's expense, usually demo budget, and then we also are responsible for that maintenance from here on out. And then that area tends to attract crime, misdeeds of all kinds, litter, trash, further denigrates the surrounding neighborhoods, people. And so I think, gosh, there are people in this United States that are using those lands, those empty lots, effectively to be positive contributors as opposed to negative detractors. And that is taking a section of contiguous properties, perhaps, that we might consult with developers and say, if we wanted to do something here, what do we need? What can the city provide? What could you provide, perhaps? There are aspects of it that are a lot of fun, and it's a lot of work. It's a lot of work. And deciding where to spend your money and shaking hands, talking to people is the best part. The best part. I love the people I meet and the help I get from unsuspected places. Oh, you need help? Hey, call me. I'll do anything. Whoa, you will? Let me get.
So now let me ask you this: when they say call me and I'll do anything, do they really mean it?
I'd say 89% do. 89% do, and others are well intentioned.
Okay.
So I'll give them credit, but that's a joy. That's an absolute joy.
Wonderful. Hey, Virginia, in our closing moments, what would you like to say to the people today about your campaign?
I am the current holder of the Ward 1 council seat, and I have been your servant for the last 2 years. I would hope that you've noticed that I've been out there working very, very hard on your behalf. A number of different projects that I consider very, very important, and the benefits associated with the projects that I've been associated with, I hope that you have realized. Some of them are the painted boxes. People smile all over this town. We needed to smile. I didn't realize how hard we needed to smile. And that's been a joyful experience too, and recognizing how many wonderfully talented people we've got in this city. The bus wraps. We've seen a lot of our city buses turned up and dressed up in this wonderful messaging, and several of them have been due to suggestions of mine that my intention was to talk loudly about what the city does well, because it does a number of things well. And that would be our Cattail Marsh, that would be our Beaumont Animal Services that is now a no-kill shelter. We're going to put out some messaging, I think, on a bus, anti-litter, because that is a serious issue in this town. Serious issue to keeping us down. Another one I think that may be in the works, I hope, from a conversation between the city manager and me, would be graphically showing our sewer system. God help us, yes. The sewer system. We had a presentation not long ago where the Public Works Director had slide after slide after slide of this is what we're fishing out of our system. Ooh. Do you see, all of those things that are said, well, these are disposable. They're not. They're not. And so that costs us labor and productivity, lots of money to clean up our system, whereas if we took this opportunity on a silly city bus to help educate people, don't throw this there, don't throw these away, don't buy these and throw them. This is hurting you. These things are hurting you. So we're going to put that on a bus, I believe, and educate our public. So those are some of the things that I've gotten just into above my chin here, and I've loved it. I've loved it because it's tiny little changes, tiny little things that taken together make us stand up a little taller, I think, and that's what I'm here for, keeping everything going as it should be as far as the different departments, the budget allotments, making sure that the money is going where it's needed, listening to people, and then adding a little bit of bounce to our step along the way.
A little flavor.
Yes, a little flavor, a little spice to our dish, a little spice to our dish. We have wonderful CVB people, we have wonderful event planning people, and they just need a tiny bit more to talk about.
Wonderful. Well, listen, I want to thank Virginia for coming today to share with us on what's happening in our neighborhood. Again, early voting begins on April the 22nd through April the 30th, and Election Day is Saturday, May the 4th. Go and exercise your right to vote. Vote for the candidates you believe have your best interests at heart. Now, I want to thank her again for joining us, and thank you for joining us on what's happening in our neighborhood, and we will see you next time on our broadcast.
Thank you.